Hey ladies, just a really quick update on what's been happening since Tuesday. So as you know, if you watched my last video on Tuesday, November 13th, I did get a positive beta pregnancy test result. So I guess it's called a BFP from what I'm learning about this whole pregnancy journey. And so I am officially pregnant, and it's still weird. Even the word to me is weird. It's okay when there's other people, but to me it just sounds really weird when I'm referring to myself. Because I have never been pregnant, and to be pregnant it's kind of surreal. It hasn't really digested yet. I haven't really. It doesn't feel real. I think it's primarily because I don't feel any different than what I normally feel. And I guess that's normal because as of today, I am 4 weeks, 2 days, which is weird because 4 weeks, 2 days ago, I was not pregnant, right? 4 weeks, 2 days ago, I was starting my stimulation shots. So how can I be 4 weeks, 2 days pregnant? I don't know. Pregnancy math apparently is different than other math. So I'm like 4 weeks, 2 days ago, I was starting my shots and we were abstaining. So it's just weird that it would be considered 4 weeks and 2 days. I've been looking at pregnancy calculators since I know it's 4 weeks, 2 days. And so roughly as of right now, and it's crazy to even think about this, but as of right now, I have a due date of July 23rd, 2019. Like, when did that happen? That's crazy. So I think the first thing I'd like to talk about is about some of the emotions with this whole pregnancy journey. I mean, yes, we were clearly doing IVF, so we were planning, and the goal was to get pregnant. That was one of the goals. But it's when it happens, it's, for me at least, it's been just a whole range of emotions. And one thing I can say is that it's overall bittersweet. And that may sound odd, right? Especially for all the women who are out there struggling and trying to get pregnant. And of course, everyone has their own emotions and feels differently. So I'm not saying you'll feel this way. But for me, it's bittersweet because, I mean, yes, I'm happy. And overall, the emotion is happiness. But it is still kind of a little sad because, I'm 35. I do not have any children. My husband and I, we've been together close to 11 years now. And we've been married for 5 of those. So, we don't have any kids. So I know that this will completely change everything. And so I'm a little sad with how, for the life that I'm giving up, because I enjoyed sleeping in, right? Every Saturday, every Saturday, it was just like, I'm going to sleep in. I enjoyed being selfish with my time and my money. And, we had a freedom where we could just go on vacation at whim and, go out to eat or do whatever we wanted to do when we wanted to do it. And I know we're getting ready to lose. Well, I mean, not right away, but I know that that's going to change. And so for me, it's bittersweet, right? I know people say, who cares about those things? But if that's the life then, that was important to me. And I did. Although I knew that I wanted children, I loved my old life. I didn't dislike it. I was not unhappy with, the freedom and some of the factors of what I was able to do. In my, I say my old life like it's over, but it's just, I know it's going to change. And even my relationship, we haven't had kids brought into it. So I know even that will change our relationship, our marriage. I don't know how. I hope only for the better. But, I know that there will be, challenges, highs, lows, hopefully more highs than lows, but just a lot of changes. And changes for most people is a scary thing, right? Change is scary. It can make you nervous, you know. And for me, it's also coming with some apprehension. Doesn't matter, you know. I am 4 weeks, 2 days pregnant, so we have to get ready. But it's just just going through the emotions. And as I process the good news, I'm just thinking about, wow, everything is involved with it. And on top of that, kids are apparently very expensive, you know. So I commend all you out there who have multiple children, because kids are expensive. I'm like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? Especially in the New York City area. Yeah, I'm like, we're going to have to move to somewhere else where we can give a with a lower cost of living. But so yeah, so these are just feelings that no one ever told me women sometimes have. And I thought that by having those feelings, it was kind of something wrong with me, because I'm just like, why am I not jumping up and down? I was happy, yes. And yes, my initial feeling, I mean, I kind of found out while I was on a subway platform. So yeah, I wasn't quite jumping up and down, just because, you know, I found out through a voicemail at like 6:00 p.m. on my commute home. But I just was wondering, like, why should, you know, I just thought I'd have like this overwhelming joy. And then for me, yes, there is that joy, but there's these other feelings. And I've spoken to, you know, 2 of my friends who admitted that they also felt similar feelings when they found out they were pregnant. So makes me feel a little bit better, that at least I'm not broken. You know, my mommy meter may not be quite where it needs to be yet, but maybe it's not broken. So anyway, so I was asked about my HCG levels, so I just wanted to share them with you. So on Tuesday, when I had the initial blood test, my HCG level came back at 132.2. And then, so it was supposed to roughly double within 48 hours. I spoke with the nurse today, and she told me, well, I spoke with her before my results came back today, and she told me that they were looking for it to be at least 200 today. She said that with the initial test, anything over 50 would have been considered pregnant, I guess. And I was at 132.2 then. And so by now they wanted to see it be at least 200. They say double, but it doesn't have to double. She said like 60% or something like that. But it didn't have to double. Well, today my HCG level was at 541. So it more than doubled. I don't know if that's good. They said it was good, so I'm going to assume it's good. It did kind of, I don't know. It went from 132.2 on Tuesday, November 13th to 541 on Thursday, November 15th, which is today. So, you know, that's good. And I do know that HCG causes some of the pregnancy side effects or symptoms such as nausea and morning sickness. So I think I'm heading to the point where my HCG levels are getting high enough that could start to happen, if it's going to happen. I know it doesn't happen for everyone. I'm hoping to be one of the lucky women that it doesn't happen to. Fingers crossed. But I'll let you know if it does. So yeah, so that's my current HCG level. I was told that I need to come back on Tuesday to test again. So we'll do it again on Tuesday, and we'll see where the levels are from that point. And then I think shortly after that, they'll start with the sonograms or ultrasounds. I don't know what they're called at this point. Maybe it's ultrasound, but they'll do 3 initial ones very early on, which is my understanding. And then if everything looks good, I think then I'm released to an obstetrician. I believe that's how it works. I'll keep you posted as I go along, but I think that is how it works from this point. When I was talking to the nurse, I also got to ask some of the questions I didn't get to ask on Tuesday. My first question being about exercise. She told me I was cleared to exercise, which was actually very good news to me. One, because I had started exercising on Wednesday, so that was yesterday, and I worked out this morning too. So it's good that they told me I was cleared. I didn't have any more physical restrictions on me as of right now, and also cleared for intercourse. So, you know, those two physical activities are a go. So, I was happy about that, more so about the exercising, because I'm going to tell you the last 4 weeks, between all the hormones and the side effects, the bloating, the increased hunger. I mean, I've just been, you know, it's just been crazy. So, at least during this first trimester, where you really don't have to gain that much weight, I would like to keep it at a minimum and try to, you know, get my body as prepared as possible. And of course, exercising throughout your pregnancy makes it a healthier pregnancy, and also is better for your baby. So of course, I would like to continue that as much as possible, as long as I'm able to. I also got a little bit of bad news, was that my third embryo, because I only had 3 and 2 were transferred, but my third embryo, unfortunately, was not suitable to be frozen. And so I presume it was destroyed, because that was what we designated would happen with our consent form. So we chose that if something was not suitable to be frozen or to be used, then it would be destroyed. We just decided that we weren't going to have it used for research, which is totally an okay thing to do. If you want to use it for research, we just decided not to do it. So yeah, it's just, as you go through this process, it's so much stuff, especially when you're a newbie like I am, that you just don't know. Like, again, the HCG levels mean nothing to me. I'm just interested because the nurses and doctors seem to be interested, and I know some of you out there have been interested, and you're well more versed in this than I am, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, okay, pregnant's pregnant, right? But I guess they're trying to make sure the baby or babies are growing the way they're supposed to. So I guess everything so far so good. So I'm very happy about that. I was also told that, of course, I need to continue the progesterone shot. You know, it's not my favorite shot by far, because it does hurt a little more than all the other shots I've done. But it is for a good cause, which is my understanding. And so, I just refilled my prescription for that. I originally received 2 bottles, so I'm receiving 2 more bottles of the progesterone and oil and sesame oil. And, each bottle lasts roughly 10 days. So I guess I will probably need to do the shot for at least roughly another 20 days, since I have 2 bottles, maybe more, but, right now they're saying the 2 bottles may be okay, but I might need to refill again, but they'll let me know. And just an FYI for anyone who's curious, unlike the stem shots where you have to take them roughly within an hour of the time you initially started taking them, within that 7 to 10 p.m. time frame, it's not the same with the progesterone shot. So apparently there's a 4-hour window, and it's either 4 hours before or 4 hours after. Normally I do my shot around 7:30. But it could be roughly 4 hours before 7:30 or after 7:30. So that's good, because given that this is the longest term shot that I've been doing, and it will continue for a little while longer, it's good to know that I have a little more flexibility with the time, because if I do want to go somewhere or won't be home, or get home later or something like that, I know I can do the shot earlier or later, and it won't affect anything. So that's comforting, because I was concerned about always doing it at the same or around the same time, like with the follistim and Menopur and, you know, whatever other stimulation shot I was on at the time. But yeah, I mean, that's my update. I think the biggest thing for me is just dealing and processing all my emotions that I'm having. And, you know, I'm glad to know that it is at least somewhat normal and that other women have felt this way. I mean, the whole reason why I record these videos is just because I wanted to kind of open up and share my thoughts and feelings with the process and about everything with women, because at least in my community, I don't find that we open up about this. And until I spoke to some of, you know, my friends about these initial feelings, I mean, I'm not trying to tell everybody that I'm pregnant. Of course, just all of the internet, right, through YouTube. But I'm not trying to tell everyone because it is very early on. But, you know, my two long-term close friends, I mentioned it to them. And it was very interesting to hear them both say independently of each other that those were extremely normal feelings. So, you know, I was very, very happy, but also like, wow, no one told me that. I didn't expect it to be like that. I thought it would be, you know, at least the way it is on TV. And for some women, it is, you know, for some women, they may not have this range of emotions that I'm having. But just having, you know, a life that has not been based on children for so long, you know, it's something that I know is a little sad to give up for me. But of course, I know it's all worth it in the end. And, I'm sure these emotions will fade and change throughout my pregnancy, so, which is still very weird for me to say. So, you know, I'll keep you posted, and, you know, continue to pray for me as always. And I'll continue to pray for you, especially those of you that watch my videos. And I should appreciate first and foremost all of the, you know, love and support, because throughout this process, I've learned so much from you all, and it's been very helpful in times where I've thought, okay, I must be crazy, or I must, you know, I'm going through this, or I'm feeling this way, or what's wrong with me. You know, there was always someone to let me know that, no, you know, they felt this way, or it's okay to be like this. So, which was always comforting. So I really appreciate that. And I will, as always, talk to you soon.